Yeah, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the SATS show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. Let's go. Welcome. It's Friday, and Bitcoin is down yet again. But don't worry, this is a buying opportunity. That's what's up. All right, today we're going to talk about, in the Why We Stack segment, we're going to talk a little bit about keeping your keys safe. What does it mean? What's the difference between the keys and the seed phrase? Okay, because people use that term interchangeably, but it's actually two different things. We'll talk about that a little bit, okay? In the segment called Why We Stack, not your keys, not your crypto, okay? All right, so how's everybody doing today? Let's jump into the beginning segment of the show, which is SATS strength. Oops. All right, during the SATS strength segment, we check and see what the price of Bitcoin is today. And today, it's below 26,000, 25,930. For a single dollar, you can buy 3,859 Satoshis. What the heck is a Satoshi? A Satoshi is a fraction of Bitcoin. It's the smallest denomination of Bitcoin. It is like a penny is to the dollar. 100 pennies equal a dollar. 100 million Satoshis equals a whole Bitcoin. That is what it is. So you're walking down the street, minding your own business this weekend. You look down, find a penny, pick it up, and all the day you'll have 38.54 Satoshis. That's a lot of Satoshis for that penny. What up, Carl? Let's go. Yeah, it's a lot of Satoshis. I was a little bit late to the show because I tried to stack it a little extra hundo, but my Swan account didn't clear. It cleared, but it didn't. It deposited, but it didn't actually buy the Bitcoin. It was weird. But anyway, I got distracted and I looked at the clock and I was like, "Oh, time to go. Worth that money. Get that Bitcoin, son." Yeah, it's weird. Don't let me do it. Hope we don't have an issue when we stack today. That would be sad. I stacked with Son last night. Let's go. Okay, so that is the stat strength. All right, let's jump into the why we stack. Oh, why we stack? We stack because Bitcoin is going to conserve the value of our time and effort we put into work. It's not going to get robbed by inflation. But today specifically, we're going to cover the concept of not your keys, not your crypto, okay? When you create a wallet in Bitcoin, you have a private key and a public key. You can have multiple public keys for your wallet, multiple public addresses that can receive Bitcoin and deposit into your wallet. It's like having a bank account, but you can have multiple different bank account numbers for each transaction you do. So it's hard to trace how many transactions your main wallet has received, right? You don't give out your main wallet. You give a derivative basically of your wallet. And on the other side, you have a private key. What up, McLovin? Let's go. On the other side, you have a private key. And what your private key does, the reason your wallet gives it to you only once is because that private key will live in your signing device, like a hardware wallet, or in your phone, wherever the hot wallet is, right? It has it locked in there and it'll never show it to you. And the only way to recover it is with your seed phrase, okay? So the only way to get your wallet keys is through your seed phrase. That's why you write down the seed phrase and store it away somewhere, right? That seed phrase represents the actual hash of your wallet's private key, okay? Why is a private key important? It's important because the Bitcoin network will not accept any transaction, any action on your account unless it's signed with the private key. the Bitcoin network knows what the private key should be for your wallet, right? That's how you're able to recover it if you can provide the seed phrase. But if it sees any activity, like if I knew your wallet address, I could pretend and send a transaction to the Bitcoin network and say that you sent me all your Bitcoin. It's gonna say, okay, cool. Can you provide the private key? And I'm not gonna have that, so the network's gonna know that it's fraud, right? It won't work. That's why it's important to have your key, to have your keys, right? And the only way you can have your keys is when you create your wallet. You go in and you write down your seed phrase. It's gonna be 12 words or 24 words, and that's what you keep safe. That's what's basically your wealth, is that seed phrase, right? Because with that seed phrase, you can restore your keys to any wallet you move to, right? So that's why the expression goes, not your keys, not your crypto. Okay? When you save Bitcoin, when you buy Bitcoin through like an ETF when it comes out, don't do that, by the way. Not financial advice, but I wouldn't do it. You're gonna give the ETF providers money, and then they're gonna go and buy Bitcoin, and they're gonna hold it in their wallet with their keys, and they're gonna give you a little line of computer writing, a little line of text that says, oh yeah, when you log into your account, we need to show you that you have X amount of Bitcoin ETF saved and the value of it and all that good stuff, right? But it's not really yours, okay? It's if something happens with them, or if the government decides to like seize your assets, it's not yours. It is in their wallet with their keys. Check this out. Wells Fargo is blocking my Bitcoin buys with Swan. No way. Damn, dude, that sucks. Yeah, see, when I mean, it's difficult for us to get money onto exchanges, right? Unfortunately, to buy Bitcoin, there is that on-ramp we need to go through, which is the connection between our bank accounts to an exchange, right? Yeah, you can buy Bitcoin through other ways, but it's going to cost you a little bit more, right? So like there's even Bitcoin ATMs, but they sell it to you a little bit higher than the current going rate, plus they add fees, right? But in a bind, if you're going to DCA like a good amount, then I don't know if it's even worth it, right? It's almost worth it more to there's a site called HODL, and there you can buy Bitcoin from other people, and you can just pay them whichever way. Like your bank account is not involved. I mean, your bank account is involved, but yeah, I don't think it's like a peer-to-peer sale of Bitcoin, right? But I don't know how it's more complicated, more coordination has to happen, but that is a different way to get it. Anyway, once you have it, you get it into your wallet, and you get it into a wallet that you have the keys for, right? Because remember, not your keys, not your crypto. That is, well, let's just modify that. Not your keys, not your Bitcoin, because you shouldn't be having any other kind of cryptos. Okay, that's the way that other people get your Bitcoin, is by selling you other coins. Okay, make sure that when you get to the point where you have more than $100 worth of Bitcoin, consider getting that $60 either Blockstream Jade hardware wallet or like a Trezor One. It's like $65, right? And the difference is there is if you do everything on your phone, like an iPhone or an Android, you'd want to get the Blockstream Jade hardware wallet, because that will connect via Bluetooth to your phone. And then you can run the Blockstream Green wallet, and you can be 100% phone only. If you have a computer and you want the nice big display and it's easier to mess around with, I would go with like a Trezor One, $65, and you can upgrade your Trezor with Bitcoin only firmware, so it won't have the options for all the other coins. Makes it a little bit neater. But anyway, that is why we stack. And speaking of stack, let's do a stack recap. I really hope I can stack today with Swan. Man, that's a bad sign that I couldn't stack earlier. But we'll do our best. And it's a Friday. Let's have a good time. I got on account with Ally, okay, and they're perfect. All right. Dude, McLovin, it's so funny, dude. Like I don't know what you really look like, but I just imagine you as an actor. It's so funny. Anyway, all right. So today, our Bitcoin is down 9.88%. Oh my God! Sell everything. It's going to zero. Just kidding. It's not. Remember, this number is still going up, and when the price of Bitcoin is below our average buy price, it's pretty low. It's not the lowest. Our lowest is 25,151. We're still gonna buy a double stack today. We're still gonna buy $20 today, okay? Because it's such a good buy, such a good deal. I'm gonna buy 200. Sorry, I was about to say 200. I'm gonna buy $20 worth today, okay? Because I know it's not as low as it's below our average buy price, so we should be buying 15. But today I'm gonna buy 20 again, okay? Maybe we'll just double it when it's below our average buy, okay? So that's the plan for today. We're doing a little double stack because it's on sale, baby. It's on sale. Okay, so that is the stack recap. And now there's only one thing left to do. It's time to stack some SATS. Right, Swan Bitcoin. Don't fail me now. Let's go, baby. Let's go. $20, I wish. The Michael Saylor is so smart, man. That's so awesome. I do have a Michael Saylor video that I'm going to show you guys today after this stack, okay? I thought you guys would enjoy it. Here we go. $20. $20 is what we're doing, okay? I'm going to preview the buy. I'm going to take my little notes over here for the... 54, episode 54, coming in hot. Here we go. I'm gonna show you guys the process here. I go to Swan Bitcoin, I hit buy now, and I tell it I want to buy $20. It tells me, all right then, 0.99% fee. That means it's gonna cost you 20 cents to buy $20 worth of Bitcoin. Stop the music. Start the drum roll. Here we go. Don't fail me now, Swan. Come on. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Let's go, Carl. Come on. It's my best Walking Dead impression. Whoa, that was pretty quick. And just like that, we are a little bit more. We're a little bit more SAT rich. Just like that. SAT rich. Getting close to that 3 million SATs, baby. Let's go. Update our spreadsheet with the latest buy. Slow and steady, boys. Slow and steady. But right now, it's a good opportunity to get some cheap SATs. That's all I'm saying. I've been buying like crazy in the background on my private stash, my private bag. I don't even know if that sounds right. 26,000. 029. Just like that, 26,029. We bought $20 worth of Bitcoin. It cost us 20 cents. We include the whole price, and that yielded 0.000763837 Bitcoin, which translates to 76,837 SATs. That's like a triple stack of what we normally do, almost a triple stack of what we normally do. So I'm telling you, it's a good deal, good value, guys. It's the scarcest asset in human existence. Okay, so don't get it twisted. This just tells us what our average buy price is now. So it's 28,454. Our average buy price is going down, as it should, because we're buying cheaper SATs. Let's see how far apart it is. 28,454. This is actual. This is more of a round number up here. See, it's like 50 bucks more. Oh, sorry, like 30 bucks more. But still, it's pretty close. Okay. As you can see, the SAT count has gone up, and that is our goal. SAT count go up. Bitcoin count go up. All these numbers are just an illusion, right? As long as the central bank keeps printing money, right? They're raising the interest rate to slow down the banks and to slow down people from borrowing money, because the banks make a lot of money, right? The banks create a lot of money. Okay, banks create money whenever they loan you something. Whenever they loan you money to buy a car, a house, anything, they're creating that money out of thin air, right? That money doesn't exist, but they issue a credit for it. And as soon as they issue that credit for it and you pay the car, the house, whatever you're paying for, and you're going to pay back, that money gets created. Okay. So when they raise the interest rate, it's supposed to slow down the rate of inflation, because banks aren't getting as many customers as before because it's so expensive to borrow, right? And that would work if maybe 10 years ago, right? But now it doesn't even matter if banks aren't lending. The rate at which we're printing money just for our expenses and for the interest in our national debt is so high that it doesn't even matter if banks don't loan money, that we're still printing money into oblivion, right? So it just slows down the inevitable, right? The root cause here is not that you have a good job. That's not the problem. The root cause is not that people are spending money. That's not the problem. The problem is that the government continues to print money every single day, debasing the money that's in your savings. That's what we save in Bitcoin. That's the whole premise of the show. Spend the dollars, save in Bitcoin, right? Again, this is not financial advice, but it is an eye-opener. I want you guys to take this information and don't believe me. Go do the research yourself. Go read some books, watch some podcasts. It's hard, dude. You have to understand how the economy works. You have to understand how the banking system works, right? You have to understand how inflation works. Yeah, a lot of people think they understand how inflation works, but you might not know 100%, right? You need to know how inflation works, and then you can see what the problems are, and then you can understand how beautiful Bitcoin is and what the solution is, okay? McLovin says, BlackRock, Fidelity, Vanguard, GBTC ETFs are coming, then skyrocket. Stack now. That's true. We are in such a... All right, we're going to watch this video, okay? Real quick, because I thought it was a cool video. There's a channel that I follow. Well, I don't follow, but I get it suggested all the time, so I end up watching them because he does like a abbreviated. It takes like the best parts out of like Michael Saylor videos, and they're like an hour long, and he'll just clip some good parts of them and he'll put them into like a 10-minute video. So let's watch this video together. I want to see what you guys think, and then we'll kind of comment on it when it's done. Okay, so here we go. The channel we're watching it on is, oops, here it is. The channel we're watching it on is called Library of Wealth. So shout out to Library of Wealth. They do a good job of recapping the news and pulling interviews, and they do the interview, and then they also put in like B-roll to make it kind of like nicer to watch. Okay, so that's part of the video we're watching, and I'll put the video in the chat just so we have it in the chat. Let's see, take out this time. If you want to watch the whole video, you can watch it there. But here we're gonna start it after his intro, just when Michael's talking. Here we go.
I think that the highlight in the past year is the institutional adoption of Bitcoin and the maturation of the asset class, along with the education of millions and millions of people as to why they might want digital property, what is a digital commodity, and what's its place in the macro economy. So every decade, there's some profound paradigm shift. And the thing that hits you about a paradigm shift is it's such an out of the blue idea that no one can conceive of why you would even want it. Every financial crisis we've had right, in the history of the world. And we've had 10,000 of them. There have been 10,000 currency collapses. Along comes Satoshi, and we've got the white paper. And, January 3rd, 2009, we launched this little monetary virus or this idea virus. And it kind of burns very, very low level for a while, and people aren't sure of it. It's a gimmicky thing, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and waiting for why would you need it? And, you had to be a visionary to kind of need it or get it. If you lived in Argentina and your currency collapsed and you watched your family get wiped out, then maybe you get it, but that wasn't the mainstream, right? The Western world is not run by people that lost their family's life savings in Africa or South America. So it was an interesting idea, but it was a fringe idea until 2020. And in 2020, the monetary inflation rate tripled in the US. And what we saw was in the world's best economies, you're losing 15 to 20% of your economic value in the currency every year. In the second tier economies, you're losing 30% or more. Like the Japanese yen is down 24% against the dollar in the last 12 months. And in the tertiary economies, you're losing 50, 60, 70% of the value in the currency. Bonds, for example, are down 20% in the same year where stocks are down 20%. Okay, so that never happened for 20 years. So why does that happen? Because when you drive interest rates to zero, if you can't drive interest rates negative, then there's no way to get bonds to go up. So what we've got is the 60-40 models are broken. Conventional ideas like, oh, I'm just going to store my value by buying property, that's kind of broken in a lot of places. People are losing faith in just investing in property when you see the gyrations of this property. The conventional idea, I'm going to buy S&P index stocks. Well, the S&P is slightly up. NASDAQ is flat over the last 2 years. It blasted up and then it blasted down. So what you've got is a lot of people questioning all their premises, and rising through that chaos is a new idea. And the new idea is, what if I can encrypt energy? What if I can encrypt money such that nobody on earth, no government can debase it, no corporation can steal it? I don't trust anybody. People don't trust governments, right? We're at an all-time low in public trust of institutions. It doesn't matter what government. And they don't trust companies. And why? For good reason, because companies are influenced by governments, right? So there's a lot of lack of trust. So if I can't trust that, then what can I trust? Where am I going to put my money? Here is what's happened since August 10th, 2020, when we adopted Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. Bitcoin is up 65%, and MicroStrategy's bought almost $4 billion, not quite, but nearly $4 billion of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy stock is up 66%. So we are tracking slightly ahead of Bitcoin. So in terms of asset classes, the crazy volatile Bitcoin is the best performing of all those major assets. And then you can say to yourself, well, I'm just going to invest in stocks. Okay, let's look at big tech. Google's up 37%, Amazon is down 22%, Facebook is down 45%, and Netflix is down 52%. Little MicroStrategy, no one ever heard of, up 66%. Would you have guessed that a mid-sized software company, low-growth mid-sized software company nobody ever heard of, would outperform Google in the last 2 years by a factor of 2? We compete against companies 100 times as big as us. Oracle, 100 times bigger than us. They're up 25%. Okay, so what is the lesson of that? The lesson is we're in the middle of chaos. There is no place to hide. You've got the government embracing crypto assets, Congress, senators getting educated on it, the CFTC, the SEC getting educated on it, big institutional investors starting to take Bitcoin positions, the media. Now you've got Bloomberg covering crypto, you've got CNBC covering crypto, you've got an entire world, media, analysts, politicians, and they're all starting to figure this out. But I still say we're early, right? This paradigm shift takes a decade. And maybe the first decade was the embers of a flame flickering from 2009 to 2020. And then from 2020, we started pouring gasoline on that flame. So I still think Bitcoin is the most scarce, most desirable, highest quality property as a long-term store of value.
The traditional investment landscape, as Saylor asserts, has been...
All right, that's pretty wild, right? That's pretty wild. But go watch the whole video. It's called Library of Wealth is a channel. And once again, I'll put the link in the links in the chat. But good channel. I like the way he breaks things down. He adds his commentary ahead of time and after, so go watch the whole video if you want. But shout out and thank you to Library of Wealth for using that clip. It's wild, right? So we've stacked. We've watched some video. Let me know what you guys think of this video. And I'll let you guys go enjoy your weekend. Got a brace for the hurricane. What? Yeah, it's crazy. So it's hard to put as much emphasis as I want to, right, on how good of an opportunity this is, right? That dude, he's put in billions. Did he say billions of dollars into Bitcoin, right? Like, man, he's got so much Bitcoin. He's probably gonna be he's probably gonna be the richest person in the world when that Bitcoin pops up. You know, it's wild. So if he's that committed, right, you guys got to get to 1 Bitcoin. That should be your goal. It's not financial advice, but that should be your goal. If you get to 1 Bitcoin before all these ETFs open up, you'll be good to go, right? Not just you, but the future generations of your family will be okay. You know, it's like, even if you don't stack for yourself, think of it as stacking for your descendants. Okay, I know we talked about that last Friday, about coming back from the future and asking you to stack SATS for us in the future. But it's a wild idea, and it's like when the internet came out, you were not able to own any part of TCP/IP, right? Any part of data over IP. You're not able to own that, right? That was like a public infrastructure, right? And the best you could do was own like a domain, right? Imagine if when the internet started, you could buy a piece of the actual internet, right? And whenever anybody wanted to build on that, they'd have to pay you, right? Or figure out a way, right, to make you either part with it or lease it from you, right? Bitcoin is going to be that transformational, okay? And you can actually own a part of it, right? It's like owning land, I guess, right? It's like owning land, and then when somebody wants to come along and say, hey, can I plant on your land? Sure, I'll lease it to you. Oh, can I build a building on your land? Sure, I'll lease it to you, right? And it doesn't matter what gets built on it. You own the land, right? You own that piece of the Bitcoin that will not be expanded upon. Like, you can't. That's it. Once it's done selling, and once we're done mining it, yeah, we won't be around when the last Satoshi is mined. Sucks, but by the time the last Satoshi is mined, Bitcoin's gonna be worth so much because it's so scarce. Okay, there's nothing in the world that's scarce, that's as scarce as Bitcoin. Right? Remember, 21 million. It sounds like a lot, but it's not. Okay, can you imagine how much you could buy with a single dollar if there was only $21 million in existence? That's how you have to think of it, right? We have trillions of dollars in existence, right? Was it? I forget. I didn't want to say a number. I think we're in the 30 trillions of dollars in existence. So that $1 is not worth that much. But can you imagine if there's only $21 million in existence, right? And that's just in the US, right? And then think about the rest of the world that would also want to use that dollar. There's only 21 million, right? So that's Bitcoin. And there's nothing that any government can do, any individual, any agency can do to make more of it, right? It's the scarcest, right? You can, if gold gets expensive enough, people will figure out a way to mine more gold and get more gold because it's worth starting up your operation, right? So even gold you can make more of if the demand goes up enough and people get incentivized to go and dig for gold, right? Well, no matter how incentivized you are, once the supply is out, that's it. It's done. You can't, the only way to get Bitcoin now is to buy it or mine it. Okay? And it costs you in processing power and electricity costs. It costs you to mine some SATS, right? Or you can buy it. Right? Those are the only two ways you can get it. Right? I guess you can steal it, but that's not good. That's not ethical, right? But you can buy it or you can mine it. Okay? And then like in 2134, I think is the last 2134 is when the miner reward goes to 1 sat, and then after that it goes to 0, and you just get the fees. You just get the transaction fees. But at that point, the transaction fees are gonna be worth a lot, right? That's like in 100 years. That's crazy, right? But yeah, Carl, that's how scarce it is, dude. That's how scarce it is, and there's nothing you can do, no matter what, to again mess with the supply, and that's what we want, right? There's a really cool saying. I think McLovin, correct me on the name. It's Antonopoulos, I think. Super smart guy. I have his videos. I have a couple of his videos listed in our Discord server under the video section. I have the Michael Saylor Prague one, and the two below that are Anton Antonopoulos, and he's got some great ways of explaining how it works. But the whole reason I bring that up is that, what was I gonna say about that? I lost my train of thought. Anyway, there is there's a like, it's hard to grasp that, like, and I was going over the different sayings, and the other saying that's popular within the Bitcoin community, because you guys are becoming Giga Chads. You know, you guys are stacking. Like, McLovin is a certified toxic Bitcoiner. Carl, Leonard, you guys are on your way to becoming toxic Bitcoiners, I think. So another thing that Bitcoiners like to say is, Anton Antonopoulos is his contribution to the. I mean, he's got a lot of contributions to the Bitcoin community, I guess. But one of his biggest contributions to the Bitcoin community is the idea of rules without rulers. And that's such a simple sentence, but it's really deep, you know? Like, the money system now, there's rules for the money system, but they're changing constantly based on whoever's in government, based on whatever they're trying to do right in government. But with Bitcoin, there's a rule set that everybody knows. It's open source. The rules for Bitcoin are code. The rules for Bitcoin are programming, right? And everybody knows what those rules are. So you can play the game. So you can trust that network. You can trust the network because it's telling you the rules up front, right? Would you play Monopoly with me if I was a banker and I could pad my wallet every time I needed it? Right? If I could raise my interest, if I could raise my debt ceiling every time I needed to win the game, would you play that game? Because that's the game you're playing. That's the game you're playing when you're saving dollars. You lend the bank, or you lend the bankers, print as much money as they want, and you gotta still work for your money regularly, right? That sucks. That's not a good game, right? That's rulers, right? That's when the money system is going like that. then it's like I keep going back to this one. This is an oldie but goodie on the show, is when you save in dollars, you're swimming against the current, right? You can go and get a really good education, which is good. You should be educated. You can go and get a really good job, right? But as soon as you start saving in dollars, all that is for nothing, because you will not be able to outrun inflation no matter what you do if you're saving in dollar. If you're well enough to have a good amount of money up front that you can invest into like a property or something like that, then you'll lose value a little bit slower, but you'll still lose value over time. Maybe instead of 5 years, it takes 20 years, 30 years, right? But when you save in Bitcoin, your goals come towards you. You're swimming with the current, right? And everything in your life gets easier. It's wild. Like, you have a little bit less stress because you know that you're saving in Bitcoin and that value is being preserved relative to the whole supply, relative to a dollar. Even though you put a certain amount of value in Bitcoin, everything else is debasing, so it makes it seem as if your Bitcoin is going up in value, right? Everything is going down in value relative to Bitcoin, right? So when you save in Bitcoin, it's just like everything else is sinking and you're there, right? And you're magically becoming more wealthy just based on having your wealth outside of the reach of inflation. It's wild. The whole concept is insane. And it's a good thing to think about over the weekend, right? Have fun. Watch out for that hurricane if you're in SoCal. I'll be chilling with the fam. And guys, thanks for tuning in today. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. It's super fun to hang out with you guys and to talk about Bitcoin. I feel like I'm learning a little bit more each day, just like you guys are. I appreciate you guys being here, taking the time to think about your financial freedom. Okay, so have a good night, guys. Have a great weekend. I will see you guys on Monday when we come back here and we stack sats again all day, Monday through Friday, 8:15 Pacific Standard Time. Have a good night. Stay humble and stack sats. Woo, let's go.